some funding opportunities for us. And Carmen from El Pájaro CDC, thank you so much for making the time to join us this evening. We've all heard about the incredible work that you do up in Pájaro, and we're excited to hear all about what you're doing to help our businesses through this crisis. And so let's kick off with Kimberly Craig from the Monterey County Business Council.
Thanks, Supervisor. I appreciate it. My name's Kimberly Craig, and first and foremost, thank you for having me today, and hello to all of the South Countyers that are watching. I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on the Monterey County Business Council. We are a business advocacy organization for the entire county. We have several different projects that we work on, but it's primarily centered around the major industries that are important to Monterey County. So hospitality, agriculture, defense, and education, some of the major employers in our area. One of the things that Supervisor Lopez and his staff had asked me to talk about is some of the projects and what resources are available to both small and large businesses here in Monterey County. We have a few programs. I'm going to talk about two, and then one that we're doing to address certain issues with businesses and business owners during the COVID pandemic. So the two major, just for purposes of time, we have a ton of them, but I'm just going to give you two for right now. The two major programs that we work on at the Monterey County Business Council is the Procurement Technical Assistance Center. That is a federally funded project where we have counselors on hand to help small businesses get government contracts. And for some of those businesses that do have government contracts, you know that that can be life-changing money. It's both for local and state as well as federal contracts. So it could be anything. We've had calls this week for N95 masks. We've had calls for marketing, construction, and just a myriad of things that local jurisdictions, state jurisdictions, and nationally need assistance. And they often are looking for minority-owned, female-owned businesses to give that business to those local companies. So we have free, I can't stress that enough, free counseling to help you go through those requests for proposals to make sure that, that you are filling it out properly and as completely as possible so that you have a shot at getting some of those larger contracts with local governments. I also want to talk about Leadership Monterey County. Obviously a program that has been in existence for both the Salinas Valley and the Monterey Peninsula for many, many decades. In the last few years, we brought it together to create a countywide program. We have representation from South County, we have representation from North County, all the way down to Big Sur. But ultimately, what I would say to anybody who's listening is we really, really want equal and significant advocacy from all areas of the county. And so we really look for participation from residents of South County. And it is a program that goes February through November. It allows you to learn about the different economic drivers of the county. So we have a hospitality day, we have an ag day, we have an education day, we have a South County day. I see Kathy Miller from Era Energy is on the call. So just understanding what some of those job markets are for Monterey County and really understanding what it is. Some of us have been operating in a career for so long that we don't have any context for what goes on in the educational institutions around here. So it is a program that goes February through November. And it's one time a month. It's Fridays, fourth Friday of the month. And we usually start applications in September. So that's just a pitch to the South County residents that we would love to have you be a part of the program. And lastly, I just want to share that we have been doing webinars in partnership with the Small Business Development Center, Cindy Merzon's on the call, and partnering with the City of Salinas and the County of Monterey. And those programs really have been designed, those webinars have been designed to address current events, current issues surrounding COVID for business owners. We realized pretty quickly that the legislation for Small Business Administration and for EDA was really, really, it was 800 pages, it was crazy. And so we really felt like it was important to share bullet pointed information with business owners throughout Monterey County. So we've been having those webinars. They're available on YouTube. You can look at the Monterey County, right over here, Monterey County Business Council. We've had them in Spanish. And so just for both English and Spanish, the two Spanish ones that we've had so far, one is how to apply for the Paycheck Protection Program, which still has funding available. I would really encourage you to do some research, check with your local bank to see if they are a PPP, that's the short term for it, the PPP lender, and really take a look at, see if that matches what you need for your business. Secondly, we had one last week on human resources and legal issues. We have a lot of business owners that are starting to realize like, okay, I have an employee who has lost childcare and I have them working 8 hours a day, but they now have to homeschool. What does that mean? How do I handle that? Certain issues like we're cleared to come back to work, but I have an employee who refuses to come back to work or is scared to come back to work. So we address those issues both in English and in Spanish. We had 2 separate webinars on it. And so tomorrow's webinar, we have them every Friday, 10 a.m. And they are on Eventbrite. So you can register on Eventbrite. But tomorrow's is on Governor Newsom's roadmap, where he goes through and he's created checklists for different respective industries to see what we need to do to be successful in terms of a slow rollout to getting business back up and running. So you're welcome to join us there, and I'm happy to answer any questions if you need them. Thanks.
Thank you, Kimberly. So we'll take questions at the end, but we're going to keep rolling. So Cindy, we're going to kick it over to you now and learn a little bit about maybe some of the tools you have for our local businesses.
Thank you so much, Supervisor. I'm delighted to be here and I'm thankful to be part of the process. We've been working closely in King City over the last several months and trying to provide training down there, and we've done a little bit in Greenfield. And so I'm happy to be able to do more for the broader South County area. As I've already been introduced, I'm the director of the Cal Coastal Small Business Development Center, and I'm going to share a slide so that you can kind of follow along if you would like. So some of you may have heard of the SBDC. Well, what those letters stand for is the Small Business Development Center. And there are over 1,000 of us across the United States, Puerto Rico, and Guam. We are the largest nationally accredited network that provides business advising services, and we too provide that at no cost to the business owners. We're federally funded, primarily federally funded, but we also get funds from the state of California and from other local organizations such as the City of Salinas, the City of Seaside, San Benito County, and Fora. Our primary goal in life is to provide services to business owners and new entrepreneurs in Monterey and San Benito counties. We do one-on-one business counseling. Right now, during the COVID-19, this is all virtual, so it's done over the phone, it's done via email or via video conference like we're doing tonight. We're also offering webinars and workshops. You heard about our Friday webinars, and then we have a lot of other webinars that are available in addition to those, and online learning opportunities, and we want to be your information resource. So if you have a question, call us, let us know how we can help you. Let me go to the next slide. So as I said, our objective really is to improve the economy by supporting Monterey County and San Benito County entrepreneurs and business owners. During the COVID-19 challenge, our focus has really been on helping businesses understand the resources that are available to them and assisting businesses with disaster loan applications. In the first 6 weeks of this, seriously, folks were just concerned about how am I going to survive, and I'm running out of money, and how do I access funds? So we really were working 7 days a week till 11 o'clock at night, sometimes helping businesses apply for a disaster loan. So when we talk about disaster loans, the primary focus has been the Paycheck Protection Program, which Kimberly just talked about. There's still funds available for that. And if you need help in finding a lender that can help you get that loan, reach out to us. We can work with you and help you find someone. The economic injury disaster loan, which is available from the SBA. Unfortunately, the portal for that loan application process has been closed except for agricultural related businesses. So if you have an agricultural business and you have not applied for that economic injury disaster loan, let us help you do that. Or if you applied for that loan before March the 27th and you've not heard anything, you also can go in and update your application. So if you need help with that, let us know. And then finally, and the one I'm going to give you a lot more information about in the next slide, is the Monterey County Emergency Microloan Program. And then we offer education and professional guidance for business recovery. That's been our focus in the last 4 weeks or 8 weeks. So let's talk about the Monterey County Small Business Revolving Loan Fund. First, understand that the county has a regular small business revolving loan fund where they do loans of up to $250,000 to businesses. But because of this extreme need that our businesses were experiencing, the county supervisors and the county staff worked together with us to try to make something more available to respond to the emergency need of our small businesses. And that resulted in getting approval from the Economic Development Authority Administration, who provides these funds to the county, to offer smaller loans to businesses in our county. So the loan product is offering loans from between $5,000 and $25,000 for up to 5 years. The interest rate is fixed at, right now, it's 2.45% interest rate. So it's basically the Wall Street Journal Prime. It's 75% of the Wall Street Journal Prime, or 4%, whichever is lower. So it's lower, obviously, than 4% right now. The initial repayment period for that loan is deferred for up to 9 months, and you can use it for working capital. So that means you can use it for rent, utilities, supplies, inventory. You just can't use it to purchase equipment or purchase property. To be eligible for that loan, you have to be a Monterey County business. You need to employ between 2 and 10 people. You need to have annual revenues of less than $2 million and have been in business as documented by 2018 federal tax return for 1 year. So, and you also need to be able to show an economic injury from COVID-19, which should be pretty easy because I think every business in the county can show economic injury from that. And you need to have a feasible plan for post-disruption recovery. That means that you expect that you're going to be able to continue operating your business when this shelter in place is gone down, and that you are current on your federal taxes. And you just need to know you need to be prepared to pledge business collateral for the loan. So just to give you a little update on the loan so far, since this was approved, 14 loans have been funded for a total of $318,000. We now have $343,000 remaining. If you divide that by 25,000, that's about 13 businesses that still could get a loan. It's really important for South County businesses to know that. So I'm just going to say it again. It's really important for South County businesses to know that the county set aside $200,000 of that total loan fund to help South County businesses. But you need to apply for those funds before May the 31st. Say that again. You need to apply before May the 31st. Right now, we only have 2 applications from South County businesses for a total of $35,000. So there's lots available for South County businesses. So please apply. What happens at the end of 5/31 and there's still money remaining in that allocation for South County businesses, it then becomes available to any qualified Monterey County business. Now, that doesn't mean that South County businesses don't have access to the rest of the money. It just means you don't have preferential consideration anymore after May the 31st. So get on it, apply for this loan. I think it could be very helpful to you. Know that the processing time is not like what you're seeing with the federal loan application process. If you apply and you give them a complete loan application, it's 5 to 10 business days from the complete complete loan application to funding. That's pretty quick. So here's how you do that. The program administrator for this loan program is California Coastal Rural Development Corporation. Yes, Cal Coastal we're tied to them, but that's the loan side of it, the organization I work with. You would go to the web address that's on the screen, www.calcoastal.org/pre-qualification. So there's an online form that you fill out, pre-qualification, and when it asks you on that form, how much money are you looking for, you want to put in there $25,000 or less. That automatically flags you as a candidate for this particular loan program. And then someone will call you and get the necessary information. Don't go through and fill out a complete loan application before you do this, because this will save you extra work if you're not eligible or not qualified. If you have questions, you can call the 424-1099 number, but I will tell you they're working from remotely as well, and that phone number is pretty busy. So your best chance at getting in the queue right away is to fill out that online pre-qualification form. Very simple, and you'll get assistance right away. If you have any questions about how the loan program works, the county oversight individual is Darby Marshall from the Redevelopment and Housing Analyst, and his email address and phone number is there as well. Finally, how do you get a hold of the SBDC? How do you access our free services? The best thing for you to do is to go online to calcoastalsbdc.com and /COVID-19 resources. And the reason I'm sending you to that page, because you'll get more than just a registration opportunity. You'll see information about how to register. So you can click on the red request assistance button and you can register for SBDC services. After you register, you'll get a notification with a link to a calendar to schedule an appointment so that we can connect you with a consultant who will work with you one-on-one to help solve your problems, to help you prepare for whatever help you need. Again, it's at no cost to you. You can also review our calendar. You can see the calendar circle on our page. There are many webinar opportunities available, not only the ones that Kimberly mentioned that we're offering locally, but there are many state and national free webinars that are available for you as well if you want to become more educated on what's there. And then finally, that whole page is full of federal, state, and local resource links to help you for COVID-19. And these are links to the source. So as things change, as they seem to be doing almost on an hourly basis in some of these programs, if you're taking this link to the source, you're getting the latest information. You're not getting rumors. You're not getting how somebody's interpreting what's been said. You're going directly to the SBA, or you're going directly to the Treasury Department, or directly to Monterey County Office of Emergency Services. So you're seeing the latest information from these links. So it's a really good resource for you. So that's all I have in terms of my slides. And I just want you to know that we're here to help you. We will do whatever we can. Although we're working remotely, we're answering the phone and we're helping. And we have consultants that speak Spanish. We have consultants that were born and raised in South County, so they have a passion in serving businesses from South County. And we look forward to helping you make it through this and survive on the other side.
Thank you so much, Cindy. We appreciate you taking the time this evening. And again, we'll hold questions till the end. Just so folks know, we did have some submitted by email ahead of time. We'll be asking those, but there is a Q&A function as well through the Zoom app, or later on, we'll do the raise hand function for those who would like to be recognized to ask their question. So at this point, we're gonna go over to Carmen Herrera from El Pajaro CDC to share some information with us about a unique program that she's running at El Pajaro.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to be with you tonight. It's exciting. Let me put my full screen here. So first, I think is not join us today. Are you able to see the presentation now?
Yeah, we see your slideshow. Your audio was a little bit
Can you hear better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so first I want to just kind of tell you a little more about our organization, the Pajaro Community Development Corporation. We have our mission of promoting equal access to economic opportunity, and we've been providing services in the region since 1979. We help all kinds of businesses start and grow. We serve the Tri-County area, Monterey, Santa Cruz, and San Benito counties. We provide, our goal is to help people start new businesses, expand your business, create jobs in the community, promote, asset building in the region, and also support people in accessing financing. Some of our services include doing business coaching, some specialized consulting. We have some niches. We work with small and micro businesses. Primarily, we also do all, most of our programs are in Spanish or bilingual. About 85% of the businesses and entrepreneurs that we support are people that prefer to receive services in Spanish. We help all kinds of businesses. We do business incubation. We do help them do business planning. So that's part of what we do in general. We have 2 incubators in Watsonville, a kitchen where we have it's a charity use commercial kitchen that is accessible for anybody in the Tri-County area. And then we have a retail business incubator in downtown Watsonville. We also teach a class that is called Empresaria, and it's a 10-week business planning class that we present every semester in Monterey, Santa Cruz, and San Benito counties. In Monterey County, we've done Salinas and other areas too. We've done classes in Greenfield and Gonzales and Soledad. So that's a very quick overview of our programs and the work that we do. I'm going to talk a little about what we're doing with COVID to support people, through this crisis. We've been supporting people accessing the child protection program, also the IDL program, and the things we do for our program participants is to advise them to understand and navigate the application process, which could be a little challenging. And then we support them in preparing the documentation that through the process and making sure for this community that they have the right information, the right documentation, so that they don't spend time in something that's not going to work for them. We also sometimes help them complete the application. All of our services right now are being done online or video conference or on their phone. So sometimes if people need support, we will basically walk with them through the application online and make sure that they're filling out the application in the right way. A lot of our services that we do, what we've done is very consuming, and we're also working with the businesses to make sure that they're able to do their business plans, anything that they have to do. In this case, their applications. We take a lot of time in supporting them. That's in terms of what we've been doing. And then with other things that, any questions that they have, they can have about they have their businesses open or not. Lately, there was an opportunity for here in the area in Watsonville to do grants, so we did manage that program also, and just letting them know about any other resources that are available for them. For many of the self-employed individuals right now, we're advising them to.
Carmen, can we ask you to get a little closer to the mic? I think we're still getting some interference on the audio.
Yeah, so for many of the local businesses, and we advise everybody to, if they think that they can qualify for other resources like the pandemic assistance from the state, the pandemic unemployment assistance from the state is also guiding them through those resources. We're still taking clients to, if they want help for PPP, we recommend that anybody that has the ability and qualifies for PPP should be applying. So, so we're still doing that right now. And we know that there's some, especially that CDFIs, community development financial institutions, which are smaller financial institutions or lenders, they have, there's a set aside for the smallest businesses and for those organizations. So there's opportunities still, and we really people, if you qualify, you should apply. Our services are available to anybody in Monterey. And that's in terms of what services we're providing right now for COVID. And then I also have another emergency loan program that we're, and this is a separate one, and I should have used maybe another term. So these are loans that are going to be available, the applications in mid-June. We're looking, and this is general information, nothing is set in stone yet. We only know that we have those loans, that fund approved. We're going to have $1 million available for loans. The priority is going to go for small micro businesses that don't qualify for the CARES Act or relief for whatever, for different reasons. Many of those, like IT businesses, the loans are going to be deferred for first payment in January 2021. Right now we have a waiting list, and you can call us and we will take your name and put it in a list. And once we're ready to get applications, we're going to be contacting you. You can also email us and we'll send you an email. That's in general what we have, the support that we're available. And again, we support anybody in Monterey County. We have clients all the way from King City to Scotts Valley, Hollister. So in the case of Monterey County, we're available, and our services are available in Spanish or English. And we'll be very, very happy to help you. To contact us, you can call our phone number, which is in 722-1224, or you can email us at info@elpajarocdc.org. So I guess that's what I have to say, and I hope that anybody that feels that they need the services, that we can provide services, and especially services in Spanish, you can contact us, but we do bilingual. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Carmen. So I want to briefly acknowledge, I saw that Mayor Ledesma joined us as well from Soledad. So we want to welcome him and thank him for helping us put tonight together. Fred, are you with us? You might have stepped back.
No, I'm here. I'm here, buddy.
Okay.
I've been watching. Thank you, Chris. I apologize for being late. I didn't have the link for some reason. I don't know. I erase everything, you know, that with this many emails. But good to see you, Chris.
Good to see you too, Fred. And thank you. Thank you for your support and helping us get this all put together so we can get this critical information out to the community. I did have a preset list of questions here. And so I'm gonna quickly run through those with some of our partners here and see if we can get some assistance. I know that we already got an explanation from Cindy about our local revolving fund, but one of the key questions about applying, if somebody wants to apply and they want to call in, can they get assistance by calling in order to get that application process rolling, or is it all online?
They can call. The problem is that The phone line is pretty jam-packed, and so they may have a hard time getting in, but they can call the phone number, the 831 or 424-1099 number, and speak with someone. The best thing for them to do, though, really is to fill out it. The pre-qualification form has about 4 boxes that you fill out online, and that will trigger someone to call them and go over specifically what they need in order to apply.
Great, thank you. Carmen, we're going to jump over to you. We had a question about the program that you kind of teased us about there at the end. The new program you said there's a waiting list for. The question on this was, how does somebody apply? So you're sharing with us right now that there is currently a waiting list, but that's $1 million fund. And are there limits on what those loans are going to be for folks to kind of have in their mind what that program is going to look like?
Loan is the loan. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
The loans are going to be from $5,000 to $50,000. But the application process is not ready for us to roll out. So it will be ready mid-June. That's why we have a waiting list, because we know there's interest. There was just a little blurb in the news and we started getting a lot of calls. So we started a waiting list. So that way, by the time that we have the application ready, people are going to be able to, we're going to call them or contact them and they can fill out the application. In terms of eligibility, we want to see that the business was an somehow established business before COVID, that they had, business that was running well and profitable before this emergency happened. And we're gonna have, the term is gonna be up to 6 years. And I don't know if there's something else that I'm missing. I have my,
roughly, do you know what the rate's gonna be?
Yeah, so the rate, we don't have a final, but it's also gonna be a low interest between 3 and 5%. We're still looking into trying to get the lowest interest that we can get in that loan, in that program. So, and that's so far right now, we have only $1 million available for lending. And we're really hoping to help a lot of businesses anywhere in Monterey County, but we're focusing a lot on the immigrant community and people that they don't have other way of getting funding because there are, restrictions or limitations on the CARES Act resources. So that's what the mission of that fund is, that to support the businesses that are being excluded for one reason or another, or that don't qualify at all. And it could be any small business if you're a self-employed person or you have 1, 2 employees or more, that's okay.
Great, thank you, Carmen. And we're going to jump over to Kimberly. And Kimberly, there's a question that you touched on earlier, but the key is, obviously we heard a lot in the media about the lack of remaining funding in PPP, and then there was sort of a second iteration that saw its way through. What is the current status of the PPP program from where you sit and from the businesses that you deal with every day? Is there still funding available, and what's the best way for people to access that funding?
Sure. So there is still funding available. It's on a first come, first served basis. So, just like anything, when the new, iPhone comes out and people get in line, it's the same thing. You have a federal program that has a forgiveness component to their programs. So there's some money there that does not have to be repaid. But ultimately, there is money still available. You want to check with your bank to see if they are a lender. If not, you can go and either sign up online with Cindy and she can point you in the right direction. Cindy, I believe there's a list online of lenders that are participating in the PPP. Isn't that correct?
The SBA has a list that you can enter your zip code. So all you have to do is search for PPP lenders, SBA PPP lenders, and it'll come up. You put your zip code in and it'll provide you with a list of eligible lenders for PPP that are near you. It's not as friendly as we would like it to be, because there may be someone near you, but they're not taking any more applications. And there are people that are not near you that are. So there are fintech organizations like PayPal or Intuit or others that aren't going to have a
Fair, yeah.
zip code. And so that's why we can be helpful, because we're sort of keeping track of who's still doing loans, and we can point you in the direction of some that we know for sure are still taking applications.
And one thing I would like to say about the PPP is that if you are banking with a local banker, we seem to be having a lot more success with the local banks than we are with Chase and Wells Fargo. I'm calling them out by name. I'm sorry, like Bank of America, you know, some of the local community banks are able to get funding approved and through and in your bank account much more quickly. So I would say you probably have an advantage there. If not, I would certainly walk into a bank and have a direct conversation with a human being about applying. Most of the larger banks have the application online and they make you apply online. So, so just ensuring that you are being as proactive as possible. That's the one thing that I think all of us are stressing, is that it's up to you to really go after some of that funding and make sure that you're following up with it, and make sure that you have all of the paperwork necessary to submit a complete application. And that funding is available. It's still available. So I would say absolutely take a look and see if it matches what you need for your business.
Can I add a little bit to Kimberly's response?
Please.
Remember that the PPP is in fact a loan. It has the ability to be forgiven if you meet all of the requirements after the 8-week period once you've gotten the loan, but it is a loan. So know that the lenders are going to be asking for documents to assure that you qualify for it. And if you don't meet the requirements for forgivability, it will be a loan that's repayable over the term of the loan, which right now is 2 years. Hopefully it will get changed by Congress and be a little bit longer for folks, but that's what it is right now. So, and so the other thing is don't wait, because folks that waited in the first round missed out because all of the money was used and it was closed. So we don't know how long the money that's available now will be there. So don't wait, apply right away if you need those funds.
So Cindy, that leads into my next question. We talked a little bit about the county's revolving loan fund. What's the max size in terms of a business that your agency could assist in, in terms of a loan amount or a size of a business in terms of employees? Is there a cap there, or should other businesses who have needs and still reach out to you to see sort of what that best path might be for their business to get assistance?
Cal Coastal has about 8 or 9 different loan programs. So this Monterey County Revolving Loan Fund is just one of several that they administer. So they have SBA loans that you can get that can go up to $5 million. And so if you've got 500 employees and you need $5 million, you could qualify. They also have a Jumpstart loan program that goes as low as $10,000. So it's everything from the lowest 5,000 range on the emergency microloan from the county, and all the way up to 5 million on some of the SBA guaranteed loans. And so important thing is when I said go on and fill out the pre-qualification form, if you are looking for any amount of money, whether or not it fits the emergency microloan program, you fill out that same pre-qualification form, identify what you want to use the money for and how much you need, and then Cal Coastal will take that and plug you into the right loan product that they have that can help you.
Thank you so much. What I'm going to do is ask our attendees who have any questions to go ahead and use the raise hand function. It's in the participants tab. So if you'd like to ask a question, please go ahead and raise your hand. If you're on a landline, I see I've got a caller that way and you'd like to ask a question, it would be *9 in order to raise your hand to be recognized to speak. But before we go to that, I have one more question for Carmen. Carmen, when coming out of the last crisis, the last economic downturn, we had a lot of really innovative business owners or people with an idea who wanted to create a business. And you spoke a little bit about the incubator side of El Pájaro CDC. Could you expand a little bit on that and share with folks who might be in the middle of this crisis thinking, I have an idea for a business, and while it's the bottom, maybe that's a good time to get in and kickstart my American dream through this process. Could you share with us a little bit more about what that program looks like and how you assist people to come up through there to create businesses that employ people throughout our region?
Mhm. Yeah, so if it's a food business, they people have to go through a process of submitting an application to the program and usually going to an orientation. We're right now rethinking our orientation for the kitchen, because people have to, before people will come to the kitchen, visit the kitchen and get the general information about the program there. But right now we're rethinking that, but they still can contact us and we will talk to them about what their ideas are. Usually we will help people start do a business plan, also like have a session with a consultant to discuss the viability of the business. I mean, it's not a lot of people are thinking about starting businesses, but an example is that we were just starting our semester of classes when this hit, and we did continue our classes during and just finished them, and we did it online and all of that. And just last month during the last week, we had the final presentations for the business plans, and people, several of them had to rethink what they were doing, and one of them actually totally changed the business that they were doing, and now they're doing a business that has to do with a service that is going to be in demand because of the emergency. So it's not a no, but I think people are going to have to be a little more careful about deciding to start a business and all of that. But we don't say no to anybody. We just talk to them and help them like analyze their business idea and prepare a business plan. And if they're looking for funding, we will work with them. We can't assure that they're going to get a loan for a startup, but they may. So that's, I think that in Spanish, there's a saying that says something like, the need is the mother of creativity, because when you're in need, when you're in a crisis, people come up with ideas. And I was just very surprised with that business that like they totally switch, and it kind of had to do with that what they're planning, especially because of the knowledge that this entrepreneurs had, but they switch it to something that it's gonna be a service that is gonna be in demand as we are opening the economy and all of that. And so you need to think about that also.
Well, we won't ask you to give us their secret in terms of what they're going to do, but maybe we can ask you just to iterate one more time. There's been a key question that I've heard several times as I talked about your programs. People said, yeah, but is it open to South County? And I heard you address that already. Because maybe you say one more time, do you serve all of South County and all of Monterey County?
Yes, we do. We do all Monterey County. We're doing all our service right now is on the phone or video calls or, whatever way they want to communicate with us. And they just have to contact us. So they're going to call that number 831-722-1224. And the first thing that we ask is similar to what SBDC does, that they have to fill out an intake form. That is a request for services. And once they do that, then they will continue receiving services. And our services are also free of charge and available for anybody in South County or other areas of Monterey County. So, yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Carmen. Well, I don't see any hands up. So I'm going to go to our electeds and see. I know we've got a couple small business owners who happen to be mayors of small towns down here. So I want to check with either Fred or Maria. Any questions here for our panelists?
I would just say, Chris, and thanks, Chris, for having the meeting. And I want to thank all the people involved. But I just want to do, I was going to raise my hand, but I thought, I don't want to be so presumptuous. But I do have a question. And my question is this, because I'm thinking about myself and some other people that I know that, how is this going to change? And I know it's maybe a question that nobody knows right now, but how is this going to change? I'll give you an example. I own a wine bar. So we serve food and we serve wine and beer, right? But you make money in a bar, in a restaurant by bringing as many people in as you can and moving people in and out. But now you're going to be in a situation where you have to do social distancing, where instead of putting, for example, in our place, maybe I think we have 10 tables in the two little rooms, we're going to have 5 tables, right? And I can see the issue is going to be for a lot of restaurants. I think about Carmel, Monterey, the peninsula, they have really small space. So with the social distancing rules, it's going to be very difficult for people to make a profit because you just can't do the numbers. So my question maybe to some of the blenders and some of the panelists are, how do you think this is going to affect how these loans are given out and the forgiveness or how they're going to go about it? Because, for example, if now you're only serving 8 tables when you serve 14, you don't really need 3 waitresses. You need 1 waitress, right? Because a waitress will be in the same situation like, hey, I'm not going to make any money doing this. I can't pull any tips. So I can see a lot of complications, but I just want maybe some comments or some thoughts from maybe some of the panelists.
Sure. Anybody want to take that one?
There were a lot of questions in there. So
About
I'll
that.
start, and
I've been thinking a lot here.
others, please chime in. You're absolutely right. I think the most important thing now is businesses start to consider and develop their plan for reopening is that they have to evaluate how is it going to be different, because it is going to be different than it was 3 months ago. And can I even survive? Am I going to be able to make enough profit to open my business? And so they really need to do that analysis. So one of the things I tell businesses is that you need to know your financials and you need to know what is it going to take for you to be able to pay those bills and keep your doors open if you open it up again? And is that possible? The other thing you need to know is you need to know your customers. And are they going to be willing to come back? Because it may take a while before customers are going to feel comfortable coming back out, even though you've done everything right in terms of the distancing and the disinfections and all of those things. There's still going to be people that are afraid to come back out again. So you need to know your customer base and get a sense of whether or not you're going to have the volume that you need to reopen. And then back to your, and then the employee piece comes back to your question about I may have a waitress. I'll say you applied for the PPP loan, the Paycheck Protection Program loan, which is based on the number of employees that you had and what your payroll was before COVID-19. And you have to at least spend 75% of the loan that you get on payroll cost in that 8-week period, and they have to match the dollar amount of what you were spending before on payroll and numbers of people. So if you had three waitresses and now you only have 1, you can still get the loan, but you're not going to meet the criteria for forgiveness. So it's going to be a loan and you're going to be making a loan payment every month. So businesses need to understand that. And if you're not going to be able to bring the people back and make it forgivable, and you know your financials and you know you're not going to be able to make that loan payment, you need to be talking to that lender right now and saying, I need to give this money back to you now, because it's not going to work for me going forward.
If I could also just maybe give a different perspective too, and this is, Fred, knowing that you have a role in local government, I would also take a look at what other cities are doing to be creative and different about rolling back out and, slowly introducing business into, the general public. Germany started doing this Italy started doing this. They had outdoor seating because the indoor arena was too small to be able to serve. And I think cities of Carmel are looking at it. The cities of Pacific Grove are looking at it, and Monterey as well, in terms of closing down Alvarado, closing down Ocean Avenue for a period of time, closing down Lighthouse, some of your major streets where most of your restaurants or most of your businesses are. And it's not just restaurants. I mean, that's the thing I want to be conscientious of. Sidewalk sale. But those are some creative avenues in the initial stages that might allow us to come to your main frame, your main downtown area. It's working in other areas. And so we're just trying to keep an eye on what works in different, there are other cities throughout the United States that are about 2 weeks ahead of us. And so just trying to make sure that we're keeping an eye on what's working and what's not working. But that seems to be one area that that cities are really improving to bring business back and to be able to have that space available. So you can actually have indoor and outdoor seating.
Thank you, Kimberly. It's good thoughts.
Chris,
I'm going to quickly go to Mayor Orozco. There she goes. I know she had to jump off, but I wanted to give her a shot on the way. I know she has a 6 o'clock meeting, but we'll go over to you, Paul. I see Paul Wood
Okay.
from the city of
Yeah.
Greenfield.
so prior to becoming a city manager, and even currently, I'm the finance director for the city of Greenfield. I'm a CPA. I've done work. I've been a consultant with SBDC. It's a great organization. And I think some general guidelines, people that are considering these, definitely talk to Carmen, Kimberly, and Cindy, because there are really not just the COVID-19 things that are available, but there's a whole host of other financial arrangements you can make. So, and to Cindy's point, that is huge, that if you're counting on having these loans be forgiven, you'd better know every single one of those criteria, because you miss one and it's not going to turn out the way you want. That's number one. Number two, like they say in the construction business, measure twice and cut once. Have multiple scenarios. Best case scenario, most likely scenario, worst case scenario. It never ends up exactly the way you plan, especially if you only plan on one scenario, right? Cindy's not.
Sure.
Absolutely true.
Right.
And third of all, and so those scenarios will come up with some sort of cash flow that you need to make it, or there'll be 3 different ones. One thing that's really great is now interest rates are really low. If you're going to borrow money, this is the time to do it. But make sure you know what your plans are. Check with those 3 plans or however many you decide to do multiple times throughout the course of restarting your business to kind of see what trajectory you're on, and adjust accordingly. Always adjust. A flight to the moon doesn't go in a straight line. It's a zigzag line that ends up at the moon. So wherever you're going, it's going to be a series of corrections. And these people are going to be great resources to help you through that.
Thank you, Paul. Mike, any thoughts for us here as we approach our 1 hour mark?
Yeah, I would just like to thank all of you for what you're doing. You're providing that information to our business owners, and that's so important. And for our business owners is to remember that right now it looks dire, it's struggling, you're wondering what you're going to do next. But the good thing is we had a very strong economy that was based on good fundamentals, and that didn't go away. Unlike other times we've gone into recessions, it was because of the fundamentals, it was because of other issues. So I believe that that economy is still there. It's waiting for us. And I firmly believe in the entrepreneurship. And as Carmen mentioned, when there's need, there's creativity. And so for restaurants and retail, you'll start off with smaller numbers of customers, but listening to your customers, working with your customers, you're going to develop that sense of comfort, the relationship that will build those things. And as we're out of this, eventually we'll be out of these orders, we'll be into more of a normal mode. But even during that time, there will be the gradual bringing back of people to where they're comfortable to. So I would just encourage businesses. It's really going to be about customer service. It's going to be about meeting the needs of your customers and being creative. Paul offered great advice regarding think about what your budget is, think of those different scenarios, and talk to people that could, you need someone to mentor you. Again, all of these organizations, they can provide some really crucial information for you from people who've gone through this before. And stick with those sound principles. You can get through this, and I firmly believe you'll be stronger than ever, because there's always a good thing that happens, and this really makes all the businesses focus on what were they doing and where were their expenses at, because they're really diving deep onto every one of those line items. So we will be stronger, but please buy locally, support your local stores. That's how we all get through this together, and it will strengthen each one of our communities even more than ever. And thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you, Mayor. In closing, I want to thank every one of our participants for their awesome information. This is stuff that, you know, we see on spreadsheets and you see on a quick flyer that runs over an email or a desk, but to take the time to dive in to really explain it is where that value comes in. So I want to thank you all for spending this time this evening with us to help our communities understand what the challenges are that they're facing, but the tools that you've added to their toolkits tonight hopefully will help them get through that in a smoother way. As the son of a small business owner in Southern Monterey County growing up, I know that it's the small businesses that sponsor Little League teams, that give back to local community organizations, you know, that stand up when those critical issues are impacting our community to volunteer. And so I want to thank our small businesses for everything that they do every single day for our communities, and encourage everybody, buy local, shop local. You know, look at our neighboring towns. We're all in this together. And the more that we spend here locally, for those that, you know, like myself, who studied some economics, you understand the speed of a dollar within a community. It's not just spent once. When you spend it at the grocery store, that clerk gets to go buy gas, and then the gas station clerk gets to go, you know, shop at goes to a dining restaurant and gets to order some food, and that $1 gets spent multiple times in a community, and all of our boats are raised because of that rising tide. And so I just encourage every one of our local businesses to look into these tools, because we're there, we're in your corner, we're fighting for you. And if you need any assistance, know that every one of our city halls and our supervisor's office, the doors are open. We're there to help you. And we want to make sure you know that all these tools are in your box. And we want to make sure that if you need to use them, that you've got some great people behind you showing you what the pathway is to put those into good use. Mayor Ledesma, I saw you unmuted. Did you have some final thoughts?
No. I just want to say thank you, Chris. That was it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Again, a couple final thoughts. We did set up some ad hoc committees at the county to help start addressing reopening. Those include religious organizations, hospitality, restaurants. So we're working on getting us there. A lot of that is based on data that the state's requiring and asking. They're calling it a self-attestation. They want to know where we are with certain markers. So we're getting really close on some of those markers. But again, one of the key ones is testing. So I'm asking everyone tonight, if you have the availability, we have testing sites now set up in Monterey County. Go out and get tested. The state's asking us to have about 650 tests done a day. We're getting really close on the capacity, but we don't have people coming forward to get tested. Again, knowing where you are, knowing whether you're asymptomatic is really important for us. So take the time, go out and get tested. It helps us all, and it's going to help us all move forward, including our local small businesses and our large businesses. And so I want to encourage everybody who has the ability to spend that time, that they are even open on weekends. It's 8 to 8 after hours. Get tested. It's important. And again, I just want to thank our partners one more time. Thank you so much for putting in this time tonight. It means a lot to us. And this information will be translated and available, we're hoping, by Monday. Okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you.